भज गोविन्दं भज गोविन्दं गोविन्दं भज मूढमते सम्प्राप्ते सन्निहिते काले नहि रक्षति दुःखं. O fooled ones, seek the Lord, seek the Lord. When the death approaches you, the mundane affairs will not come and protect you. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, if you remember the earlier classes, we were discussing regarding the Bhajagovindam or Moha Mudgara. That is the wonderful verses, poems are written by the great philosopher Adi Shankaracharya. So one who is a hypocrite has been discussed in the previous class. Now, very interestingly, what is the role of knowledge and what is the role of austerities? What is the role of woe? I mean, like resolves. All these things has been given beautifully in the 17th verse. So this is attributed to one of the foremost disciple of Shankaracharya. His name is known as Hasta Malaka. Hasta Amlaka. Amla means it is a type of fruit, and Hasta. If someone is keeping the fruit on a fruit on his palm, how it is easily accessible for him to eat. So similarly, for Hasta Malaka, the mukti or the gnana, the spiritual knowledge, or the spiritual realization was so easy for him. That is the reason, he is known as Hasta Malaka. Just like if you have got a chocolate or a fruit on your palm, it is so easily accessible for you to eat. Similarly, the self-realization or the self-knowledge, spiritual experience was so easy for him, just like a fruit on his palm. That's why he's known as Astamalaka. Such a great spiritual personality, he has given this particular verse or stanza. Kurute Ganga Sagara Gamana Vrataparipalanam Athava Dhanam Gnana Vihinam Sarvamatena Bhajatina Muktim Janmashatena. The meaning goes like this. One may, in pilgrimage, go to where the Ganga meets the ocean, that is Ganga Sagar, or he may observe different woes, or he may do a lot of charity. If he is devoid of first-hand experience of the truth, that is, I am the self, according to all schools of thoughts, he gains no release even in 100 births or 100 lives. So that means, should we not go to pilgrimage? Should we not visit any holy places? Or should we not take any vows, resolve? Or should we not do charity or help others? Because it is of no use, the author is telling. No. So we should not think like that, or we should not feel that. So then what is the author is going to intend here? What is the author's intention? Well, all of them will have their own meaning, or all of them will have its own, merits in one's life, in the spiritual progress, but there are auxiliary means, the real means, or the important means by which one can have the, God realization or self-realization is gnana, the knowledge alone. So to establish the supremacy of knowledge, to establish the supremacy of the role of knowledge, this verse has been given by Hastamalaka, great knower of the Brahman. So what does it mean? Now visiting holy places, or a temple, or a church, or any spiritual places, or maybe Himalayas, or maybe visiting like Ganga Sagar, or taking any holy bath, or doing some charity, helping people, taking some resolves, all of them will help us to purify our mind, to cleanse our mind, to develop healthy habits. It will enable us to control our mind. But they are not end in itself. That's what we have to understand. I think there's in Atma Bodha also, there's a beautiful verse or the meaning goes like this. Just as the fire is the direct cause for cooking, so without the knowledge, no emancipation can be had. Compared with all other forms of discipline, knowledge of the self is the one direct means for liberation. So here probably you'll get a right idea, complete idea. So the self-knowledge is the direct means for our emancipation. Why? What is liberation, emancipation, according to the Advaita Vedanta non-dualistic school? It is self-knowledge. So now what is our problem? We are struggling, suffering from ignorance. So the ignorance can be removed from knowledge alone. For example, if there is a darkness in the room, how can we remove? By cleaning, by painting, by putting a good furniture, or by cleaning the glass, by cleaning the tube light, fan, or anything. All of them may help, but either you have to open the windows and the doors so that the sunlight will come in, or you put on the light, power light, switch on the power light, then the darkness will go away. So bringing the light is the direct means to remove the darkness. So according to the Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, the knowledge, spiritual knowledge or self-knowledge is the direct means for our emancipation, for our liberation. So from that angle, this idea has been given. Now we will try to understand, this is also a very interesting point to understand from spiritual disciplines point of view, like Ganga Sagar. What is Ganga Sagar? We all know that, where the mother Ganga meets the ocean. So that meeting point is called Ganga Sagar. It is also considered as very auspicious. Many people go and take the bath there. And also there is a huge Mela, fair of Ganga Sagar Mela, they say. A lot of people go there. So like this, so many pilgrimage places we can visit. Himalaya we can go. And we can visit so many pilgrimage places which are on the bank of Ganges, including our Belur Math and Dakshineshwar. So visiting all these places or any other holy bath, either in river Narmada or in Godavari or in Brahmaputra or in Krishna, whichever holy river, by taking bath, is it not conducive to spiritual life? Yes, they're all conducive to spiritual life, but by just taking bath in these rivers, we will not be able to attain self-liberation. So they will help us. They will bring some amount of purity in our spiritual life, but it is not enough. And also, some commentators say Ganga and Sagar it can be said as a compound word, means Ganga and Sagar. Ganga, you can say from Himalayas, which is the origin of Ganga. So foothill of Himalayas. Sagara is what? Southern part of India, which is Sagar Setu, which is Rameshwaram. So the whole India has been covered as a pilgrimage place, because the whole of India, if you see, it is full of pilgrimage places. So Ganga Sagar represents the entire India geographically. So you can visit many temples. You can visit many pilgrimage places. What does it happens actually? So it will help to develop our devotion. It may help to develop right attitude. It will help mental preparation. All these things will help, or it is conducive for our spiritual progress. So that means they're all auxiliary means. They're not the direct means according to the author. And also, in what attitude you are going to these places is also very, very important. On the lighter side, funnily, Sri Ramakrishna tells that when you go to take bath in the Ganges, all your sin, Papa Purusha, a sin is considered as a form of a human body, so he will be sitting in the trees, near the trees where the Ganges river is flowing. Nearby trees, he will be sitting. Of course, if trees are not there, he will be sitting on the buildings, we can think. So once you finish your bath and once you come back, then again he will come and join you. And funnily, Sri Ramakrishna says. So what does it mean? So just you do whatever sin, whatever evil actions you do, and just you go and dip in Ganga, that doesn't mean that you will get cleansed completely. No. By taking bath in the holy river, by visiting the devotional places with a right attitude, with a devotional temperament, yes, that brings some goodness. That brings some devotion to your spiritual life. For example, some may go to Ganga Sagar in the picnic attitude, just to have recreation. Some may go to as a Kashi or Rameshwar as a sightseeing. They will go, they will see just temple, 5-10 minutes, and afterwards they will do all type of recreation. Then the effect, the profit, the spiritual effect, the spiritual use for such people will be lessened. Because any other place he goes and he enjoys. So similarly, even the pilgrimage places also is going and is enjoying. So if you go in such type of attitude, so definitely it doesn't bring very large effect, large benefit for any one of us. So if we spiritual aspirants, devotees, if we visit any temple, any worship place, any pilgrimage place, we have to go with devotion. We have to go with reverential attitude. We have to prepare our mind. And always I suggest that if you are going to any pilgrimage place, try to know the history of it sometime, at least. You may need to read the complete history. At least in Wikipedia or somewhere, you have to know what it is. What is the history there? What is the significance of that place? What is the significance of the deity? So once you know all that, you'll be able to enjoy. I've seen in Belur Mutt, even for example, monastery. Some people, they come, they just see, visit temples, and afterwards they're busy in seeing flowers, taking photographs, talking, chatting, all nonsense sometimes. Because they don't know. They see only building, they don't know what is the importance of each building. Similarly, it can happen with any other pilgrimage place. So if you know the history and if you know the significance of that place, then to develop devotion, it will help you. So with the devotional attitude, if you visit pilgrimage places, it can bring a lot of spiritual progression, spiritual wealth for all of us. For example, if you can remember, if you have read Master Mahashaya, Mahendranath Gupta's life in depth, you'll be able to understand. When he used to go to Kamarpukur, when he used to go to Dakshineshwar, with so much reverential attitude he used to go. I mean, there's one interesting story. First, when he visited Kamarpukur, during those times, Sri Ramakrishna was there in his physical body. So Mahendranath Gupta entered Kamarpukur village. So before keeping his food, he bowed down because an incarnation has taken the birth on this holy land. Like Shiva came here, Vishnu came here, or particular Devata came here. It has become such a pilgrimage place. Now this Kamarpukur village, where the incarnation has taken birth, and he has played his Leela, is a divine sport, and every nook and corner of the Kamarpukur has been blessed by his divine feet, divine dust. So he bowed down and he whirled around the ground, saying that the every dust, speck of dust of Kamarpukur is a holy. Why? Because the incarnation called Sri Ramakrishna has taken birth here, has born here, and he has, walked in this holy land. So with that devotion, he entered Kamarpukur. See, that is what pilgrimage I mean. And when he used to go to Dakshineshwar, every nook and corner was a pilgrimage for him. Why? Because every nook and corner was somehow or other, directly or indirectly, associated with Sri Ramakrishna. So he used to remember the incidents, life incidents happened in Sri Ramakrishna, and even one day was not enough for him to visit Dakshineshwar. So every tile, every roof, or every place, every corner used to remember Sri Ramakrishna's divine sport. So what a type of devotion. If not that devotion, that type of devotion, whatever is possible with the devotion, we should visit pilgrimage places. Then we'll be able to draw much inspiration, much spiritual benefits. And now second one is necessity of vows. This vow is very important for all of us. In Sanskrit, it's called vratha or resolve, sankalpa, we say. Why this is required? For example, in a winter and all. So I will get up before sunrise. Anytime before sunrise, getting up is difficult for all of us. We are all Surya Putras. And in winter, getting before sunrise is really challenging. So now, say for an example, in winter for 41 days, I will get up before sunrise. Say for an example, 5 o'clock, 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or before 6 a.m. Now, by taking that resolve, if I start getting up, what happens? My willpower, power of determination gets increased. Small, like every drops makes a mighty ocean, as saying goes. Similarly, small control of the mind, control of our senses are increasing our willpower, increasing determination, power of determination. By that, we'll be able to progress in our life, either mundane life or even spiritual life. So the willpower is increased and your power of determination is increased. And by this, what happens? It will enable you to. You don't have a choice. When you take a resolve, when you take a vow, you don't have a choice. You're not giving any choice whether to do or not to do. You have to do. Maybe out of compulsion initially, it may be a bit difficult, but by doing that, what happens? Your control of your mind and sense organs will become easy, much easy. Oh, controlling the mind is very difficult. Most of us being all aware. Even many devotees come and ask, youngsters, Swamiji, the only problem is controlling my mind. That is not only your problem, I say, it is everyone's problem. So this, when we take some vow or resolve, it will enable us, it will help us to control our mind. Then control of desires also will help. Say for an example, 1 month, I will not eat sweet. So controlling the tongue. Controlling the tongue means what? That's a very powerful organ, sense organ. So it is enabling you to control your desires. Your health becomes better. Sugar level comes normal or down, no doubt. And obesity or the things also will come down. Apart from that, controlling desires. So self-mastery, it is a way of self-mastery. And control of instincts. Animals live at the level of instincts, whereas human being, if he is living at the level of instincts, then there is no difference between man and animal. So if you have to become really human being, not just by mere birth or body, we can become human beings. We have to travel ourselves. We have to evolve ourselves from the level of instinct to level of intelligence. Why I should do, why I should not do. What should I do, what should I not do. We should think, discriminate, and whatever is right, whatever is good, we should act, we should perform. So from the instincts, we should travel to intelligence. Then by refining, we should attain intuition. Dhiyo yona prachodayat in Gayatri Mantra. May that intuition be awakened. Because of this intuition only, our rishis were able to find out many things. One is in the external life. Finding zero, finding infinity, numerals, and whatnot. And apart from that, self-realization. By knowing one, everything will be known, or the secret behind the death, or the life after the death. All these suprasensual things they were able to discover, they were able to invent because of that dhi. It is a wonderful power which is there in every one of us. So by taking a vow and by practicing right things, ethical things, what are spiritual things or meditation, then our dhi can be awakened. By that, you can understand many things. And also this woe or resolve will help us to tame our mind, control our feelings, control our emotions, control our instincts. Means it is all nothing but refining in character. Refining in, that means it is refining in personality. So purification of one thoughts, feelings, emotions, all things are improved. And the discrimination power is also, it can be improved. Basically, in one sentence, if you want me to, it is a psychological training or recasting the mind and having a control over the 6 enemies, Arishad Vargas. Kama, Krodha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, Dhamba, Darpa, all these things we know that. Now, charity. Why should we do charity? By helping others, we get punya, we get good results. So that whenever we are in distress, when we are in problem, that the fruits of action which we have helped others, it will come to our rescue. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Even if we follow small things, small help, a little good thing, good action, that will help us from great endangers. Even Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. This is one thing. And second thing is, it is our duty to help others, other beings. If I am living for so many years on this earth, so many people have contributed. My parents have contributed, teachers have contributed, farmers have contributed, soldiers have contributed. Not only that, every being, every organism has contributed. I mean, plants have contributed. That's why we are able to get oxygen. Water has contributed. Every element on this earth has contributed for us, isn't it? So every being directly or indirectly is contributing to my existence. So as a counterpart, I have to help people. I have to serve people. It is my right and it is my duty also. Here also there is no choice. So this was told beautifully in Vedas and in Gita in the name of Yajna. Yajna means it is not just pouring some ghee or pouring some offerings and doing sacrifices. Yajna means is what? Feeling for one another and helping others. Or leave and let live. And compassion, mercy, developing can be done by doing charity and trying to feel the presence of God in every being and in every creature. That is also an important thing. Swami says, Shivagnane Jiva Seva. Because Lord resides in every being. So by helping others, by serving others, I am doing worship. That is the real worship. So all of them have got a lot of values. All of them, like charity, visiting pilgrimage places, taking vow or resolve. All of them have got significance or significant part in our life, but they are not end in themselves. They are the auxiliary means. So what is the important means for self-realization? That is the self-knowledge. So when we say self-knowledge, it is not the bookish knowledge. I have studied Vedas. I have studied Upanishads. I have attended Swamiji's lectures. So I know many things. Yes, I have got a bookish knowledge. You might have intellectual knowledge, theoretical knowledge, but you have to put into practice and it has to become the part and parcel of your life or my life. When I say Aham Brahmasmi, I can or you can give hours together lecture because we have got knowledge, but it has to be experienced. So here knowledge means it is the experiential knowledge. I am that self, the experiential knowledge, the self-knowledge is what is told. So from that alone, one can be liberated from this bondage or from this cycle of birth and death. Why? Because waking up dream, say for an example, in dream you are suffering, you had some bad dream, you are suffering and you are crying and you are whatever. How much ever you were trying to do discrimination or whatever, but still it is not able, you were not able to control completely. Then alarm rang and your sleep broke, your dream got ended, then you got up, you got awakened. Then you know, oh my God, it is only a dream. Once you got out from the dream, then the dream is no more problem for you. It doesn't give sorrow. Similarly, the so-called Jagrada Avastha, awakening, the life experience is also a long dream, according to Mandukya Karika. So once we attain the self-knowledge, once we experience the self-knowledge, that is the Turiya Avastha, according to Mandukya Upanishad, once we go there, then whatever is there in this world, it cannot afflict you, it cannot disturb you, it cannot bring any sorrow to you. So we have to get rid of this dream. We have to get awakened, real awakened. That's what Buddha means. The enlightened ones is the really awakened ones. Swamiji, we are hearing your lecture now. We have opened our eyes. We are not sleeping. So are we not awakened? No. Physically, you might be awakened. Intellectual and spiritual awakening has not been done. So here awakening is what? That spiritual awakening. So what is that spiritual awakening? That is the understanding who am I. Aham asmi Brahma. I am that Brahman. So I and Brahman, there are no two different things. I am the Brahman. I and Brahman are one and the same. So that is the experiential knowledge. Now, in the 18th stanza, 18th verse has been given by Subhodh, it seems. Suramandira taru mula nivasaha shayyabhutala majinam vasaha sarva parigraha bhogatyagaha kasya sukham na karoti viragaha. How the dispassion or the detachment can bring the happiness has been beautifully explained in this verse. Sheltering either in the temple or under some trees, sleeping on the just barren ground, or just wearing maybe some leaves or the skin, skin of a tree or some animal skin, and renouncing all the possessions, I and me or mine, all that, and renouncing all the thirst to enjoy sense pleasures, such a person with full of dispassion will not be happy. So such type of dispassion will not bring happiness. Yes. So what is the way to have the peace and to have the happiness at all times? If you ask, this verse is telling, this stanza is telling that dispassion or vairagya, we say. Now, so Swamiji, we are living in the house, we are householders, we have got family, we have got our bank balance, we have got property. Should we leave all of them to become happy? Then I may not do, Swamiji, at right now, I can't do it. Yes. So that doesn't mean that you have to renounce all your possessions externally or physically. No. So if we are a householder, definitely you need property, you need house, you need money to take care of yourself and to take care of the family. But the internal attachment to all of them can be left. My house, my car, my people, it is mine, 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 mine. So that idea of belongingness can go away. It is a God's property. I am the God caretaker. I'm just caretaker. I'm the trustee. I'm the caretaker of it, but this all belongs to God. Or I belong to God, God belongs to me, and all these things belongs to God, that's all. But I'm caretaker only. So no attachment, completely detached person. For example, King Ambarisha, Janaka, which we see in Ramayana, all of them were such people. They were completely detached people. So you need not to leave externally, you need not to renounce things externally, but internally one has to slowly renounce. But for as a monk, he has to renounce externally and as well as internally also. So such a monk's life has been explained here. And also why you see even so-called powerful people, he may be president of a country, prime minister of a country, or is a minister, or is a great bureaucrat. Do you think that all times can he be happy? No. And someone is a millionaire, he or his family, is that he, at least he or she will be always happy? No. They have got worries, they have got disease, they have got stress. Sometimes they will have more stress than us. Fear of losing wealth, fear of competitors, whatnot. So power, wealth, prosperity, and what do you say? So many name and fame. All of them are essential in our life. All of them bring some happiness, some amount of happiness. It does bring, no doubt. They have got some values in our life, no doubt. But it doesn't mean that they will give complete satisfaction. They will give complete happiness or bliss at all times. No. There are so many cases where the so-called millionaires have ended their life. Most unhappiest life they might have led. Because complete happiness cannot be given by these possessions. That is what the author is also intending to tell. And also, if you see, everyone thinks that he is happy, she is happy than me. Oh, my friend is so happy than me, Swamiji, I don't know, but I am not able to. Then if you ask his friend privately, he will say that, oh no, Swamiji, my friend, the other person who is telling, he's really happy than me, Swamiji. So this is a psychological, what you say, mirage, I can say. Everyone thinks that other person is happy, other person is more happier than me, but it may not be so. Everyone has got their own cartloads of problems or desires or samskaras. So everyone has to work out. So now, so the author is trying to tell one who is free from the sense of I and mine, he only can be happy at all point of times. So a millionaire cannot be happy at all times? No. Sometimes maybe, sometimes may not. So if you want to be happy at all times, then the sense of belongingness should go away. Sri Ramakrishna tells beautifully to make us clear. If the boat is in the water, no problem. But the water should not enter the boat. So that what happens? The boat gets sink. Similarly, if we are living in the world, If you're an householder, if you're a monk, or if you're a celebrity, or if you're an industrialist, or you are a millionaire, or you are a company manager, or you are an employee, fine. That won't bring unhappiness for you. But the attachment to the world and its objects is bringing unhappiness. If the water enters the boat, boat gets sinked. Similarly, when we are attached, that worldliness, when it is in our mind, we are suffering. Oh, Swamiji, have become a manager, lot of problem. No, the real, maybe some amount, I don't say no, but the real problem is not because of the managership, because of my attachment. So because of the worldliness in our, which is in our mind existing, that's why we are suffering. So the author is trying to tell here is the real renunciation, the real dispassion is what? The renunciation of worldliness. So what is that worldliness? I and mine, me and mine, I and mine, or another way, selfishness. If you see in Sri Ramakrishna's life, it was so nice. We all know that Sri Ramakrishna, he spent his major part of life in Dakshineshwar, which is in Calcutta. So far, I think 12 years of intense sadhana he did, and other 12, maybe 12 or 20 years he led the life in Dakshineshwar. We all know that. Now, Rani Rasmani was very devoted to Sri Ramakrishna, who is the owner and the founder of the temple, who built the temple. And her son-in-law, Mathurnath Vishwa, was also very devoted. We all know that. He provided every arrangement, and he was ever ready to do any service for Sri Ramakrishna. Now, Mathurnath Vishwa's son or grandson, he ordered for Rudairam that he made some mistake. As a result, he was asked to leave the place, leave the Dakshineshwar temple complex. This Rudairam came and gave a misinformation, wrong information to Sri Ramakrishna, said that Trilokyanath has told that both of us should leave the Dakshineshwar immediately, it seems. Now, he has spent a good amount of time, more than decades, Sri Ramakrishna. And he had commanded a lot of power, lot of respect. Not power, respect from his, great-grandmother and grandfather and all of them. So immediately, if any one of us, we were in his place, we would have said, oh, their ancestors, they gave so much importance to me, so much respect to me. And this fellow yesterday has come, such a young chap. How can he tell me that to go away? Come, let me ask. We may tell, see, they have gave so much power and so much respect for me. And this fellow is telling, what a nonsense this. We would have cursed or we would have scolded him. Our third is, okay, anyhow, he's the owner of this temple complex. He has told we have to go. Now, where shall I go? I don't have any house. Where shall I live? Okay, please help me to pack my things. All these things generally we tell. It's a human reaction. There is nothing exaggeration. But in Sri Ramakrishna's case, nothing came all of them. Sri Ramakrishna said, is it Hruday? Okay. He got up. There was a small napkin on with him. He put on his shoulder and he said, come, Hruday, we will leave. And both of them, they started walking. Hruday definitely had a mental agony, but Sri Ramakrishna, even an iota of agony, he never had. And he never had any second thought about the future or whatever. Just they were walking out of the temple complex. Then some worker saw and he understood and he went and immediately reported to Trilokyanath. Trilokyanath came running and he fell at the feet of Sri Ramakrishna and said, Sri Ramakrishna, Master, I didn't tell you to leave the place. I only told to Hruday because he has done some wrong thing. Then he would have said, oh, you should have taken care then. How can you do all these things? Do you know who am I? Nothing. Sri Ramakrishna, as if nothing happened, he said, oh, is it? Okay. Hruday, it is not for me, it seems. It is for you. Please leave the place, he said. And as if nothing happened, he came back and he sat in the small cot in his room and he continued his life journey or his things, whatever he was doing there. So there was no even an iota of mental or emotional turbulence or change in his mind because he was completely detached. So because he had renounced that me and mine or I and mine, that's why there was no mental agony. So similarly, we can build the palaces, We can have a power. We can be celebrities. We can earn money. We can earn anything, definitely. If you wish so, you can do that. But don't accumulate the mental belongingness. The more and more if you want to have, no, Swamiji, I mean, work so much and I've developed all these things, and how can you? And if you say that, no, how can I? If you feel it is up to you, and okay, you have that belongingness, the more and more if you get belongingness, the more and more attachment will be there, and the more and more suffering will be there. So that's why Shastras will never ask you to not to earn the money, not to have the power, not to have the things. It will never say that. Only it says that you use it in a right means, earn it in a right way, and don't be attached. So you overcome it. You develop yourself, or you overgrow with all these mundane affairs. That is what the Shastras or scriptures or the saints are trying to tell us. So here also, the author is trying to tell that the real renunciation, the real dispassion is what? The renunciation of the worldliness. That is the sense of belongingness and the sense of me and mineness. Now there's a monk who doesn't have any house. He doesn't have any property. So sometimes he live in the temple complex, because in those days it was allowed that the monks or the mendicants, they come and they stay. And there were some chowdhuries also in those days. Some rich people, they used to build some dormitories and some rooms in the nearby villages or in the pilgrimage places. The pilgrims, mendicants, or the monks, they used to come and stay there 1 or 2 or 3 days or few days, and again they travel. So no sense of belongingness about the place, about the building, or about the people and all. No. Or he doesn't have even the piece of cloth also properly. Just he is wearing sometimes twigs, sometimes bark of a tree, or sometimes bark of a dead, the skin of the dead animal. So basically, which is shows that he is completely renounced, and he doesn't have the sense of I-ness and minus. It is mine. It belongs to me. No, such a renunciation person, for him, if the happiness doesn't come, then for who else it will come? So the author is expressing his astonishment. Means from the complete detachment or dispassion, one can attain peace, one can attain happiness, one can attain bliss. So many times we think, how can we get peace? How can we get happiness? How can we get eternal bliss, if you ask? One is through experience of self-knowledge. Having self-knowledge, or having God realization, or having the complete dispassion, you can think. Now, one more disciple of Adi Shankaracharya, that is Nityananda, has given the wonderful verse or stanza. This is often quoted in the many talks or discourses. Bhagavad Gita kinchidadita Ganga Jalalavarnika Pita Sukradapi Yena Murari Samarcha Kriyate Tamya Ye Yamena Nacharcha. If you want to win over the death, even if the Lord of Death called Yama, even he cannot touch you, even he cannot do anything to you. Who is that person? What type of personality he is, if you ask, the author is trying to tell. One who has studied the Bhagavad Gita even a little, who has sipped a Ganga water, who has worshipped at least once Lord Murari, to him there is no discussion with the Yama, the Lord of Death. So maybe it is a bit exaggeration, no doubt. Just little Bhagavad Gita you study, if you have overcome the fear of death, or you have attained the immortality, is it possible? No. Of course, it is an exaggeration. It is no doubt it is an exaggeration. So what is the author is trying to tell here? So author is trying to tell that if even you read one shloka of Bhagavad Gita among 700 verses, if you read one verse and if you try to implement in your life, you can attain the immortality, and Yama cannot come and touch you. That means the fear of death, which is called Abhinivesha, will be conquered, can be conquered. So that is the power of Bhagavad Gita. If you take any shloka, from Dharmakshetra shloka to last shloka, any one shloka you take, understand, put into practice, then you'll be able to win over the fear of death. Then sipping a last drop, just at least a drop of Ganga water. What does it mean? Ganga water is not only physical Ganga water, it is the knowledge and all. I will try to explain. Then you worship once Murari. with complete devotion, if you worship Murari, definitely we can have the emancipation. There's a beautiful song, Bengali song. Ami Durga Durga Boli, Ma Jodi Mori. So the law, I mean, there he devotee says, it is a very interesting thing. What an confidence he had. I have taken the name of Durga, Mother Durga name. What will happen to me? What can happen to me? And who am I? Who was I? Nashigo Brahmano, Hatya Kori Bruno, Surapanati, Vinashinar. I was a drunkard and I've consumed lot of liquor, because consuming liquor is not accepted, or it has not taken in a well in Indian culture. Of course, it differs from country to country. In the West, it is not so. But in the East or in the India especially, it is not considered as ethical way or whatever. And it is not encouraged basically. So a person who has consumed enough liquor, few barrels of liquor in his life, then he has killed Brahmana, who is a very noble person. Brahmana means he is a noble person. Then he has killed a pregnant lady. He has liquor, I mean, he has consumed a lot of liquor, all this. So basically, he has done so much heinous acts, sinful acts. But now I've taken the shelter of the mother, I've taken the name of mother, then that will protect me. And that will protect me. What can happen to me? So that doesn't mean that you do all the evil actions, sinful actions, and you take the Lord's name, you'll be protected. No. See, for some point of time you did all these things, now you have understood it is not right, then you should shun away all the bad things. And if you take the Lord's name and if you start doing spiritual life, practicing spiritual life, today or tomorrow, you'll be able to attain immortality. So that's important. Second point. Third point is, okay, I've done bad actions, wrong actions, knowingly or unknowingly. Now I feel repentance and I am trying to lead a good life. By spiritual practice, if I get a absolute faith, absolute shraddha in the Lord's name, in the God's name, definitely such a person also can attain immortality. So that absolute faith, absolute shraddha is very important. Terms and conditions apply. So one who has worshipped at least once Lord Murari, for him Yama cannot do. That means what? Oh, I have done few times, Swamiji, then Yama will not do anything for me? No. I mean, even such a realized soul also will die, no doubt. But the fear of death will not be there for him. So that abhinivesha, which we say, that has been attained by such a person. But we need to have that faith. We need to have that complete shraddha. That is what very important. We will say, Ami Durga Durga Boli, that song we will say, and afterwards one small message, one small phone call can disturb our mind. So such type of mindset people, such type of shaky intellect, shaky faith-minded people will not be able to get the immortality. So absolute Shraddha is very, very required. Now the question may come to all of us. Swamiji, you say any one shloka you are telling that. How can be that any one shloka, if you take Bhagavad Gita and read and study and understand, and it can bring immortality? The question may come for all of you, and it should question. It should come. Let us take for an example the first shloka. What is the first verse, first shloka of Bhagavad Gita? Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Dhritarashtra said, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamakah Pandavaschaiva Kimakurvata Sanjaya. Hey Sanjaya, O Sanjaya, Kim Akarvata? What are they doing? Where Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre, the battlefield, the righteous battlefield called Kurukshetra, in the righteous battle, in the righteous place called Kurukshetra, Dharmakshetra, Kurukshetra, Samaveta, they have all joined, they have all gone, they have all, what do you say, participated. Yuyutsavaha, they were all interested in fight, battle, war. Okay, who? Mamakaha Pandavaschaiva. Pandavas, who are the son of Pandus. Pandavas means their allied army and all. Then Mamakaha. You could have said Kauravas, or you could have said Duryodhanadi. Instead of that, my people. Mamaka Pandavaschaiva Kim Akurvata. What are they doing? So in the battlefield called Kurukshetra, they all, I mean, they have went there to participate in the war. They were all interested in the war, battle. Who are they? Pandavas and my people. Let me know, O Sanjaya, what are they doing? This we all know that. Here, what we will understand, Swamiji, by following this, what can we get emancipation? Is it not over exaggeration? Even you are also doing? No. Now I will tell. Dhritarashtra. Dhruta Rashtra. Dhruta means one who is having, one who is endowed, one who is endowing. Rashtra means Rashtra is one is the state or the country. So because Dhritarashtra is having the country, means he's the king. Okay. And Rashtra also means the body. So one who has having the body, one who is having the body is Dhritarashtra, means any embodied soul, any Jivatma. Okay. And this Dhritarashtra had a physically blind, no doubt. That also can be taken symbolically. Even we are all blind people. Why? Because our eyes, our attitude, or our view has been colored by me and mine, ahankara and mamakara. That's why we're all blind people. Not physically blind people, but spiritually blind people. That's why we're not able to discriminate what is right and wrong, and we are not able to put into practice. Okay. Apart from that, now you see, hey Sanjaya. Sanjaya means Samyak Jaya. One who has got the victory. Who has got that victory? Who is free from I-ness and minus. Sanjay was a charioteer driver actually. He was his personal assistant and driver. But he had a good discrimination power. Many times he used to tell to his king, Dhritarashtra, master, whatever you are doing, it is not right. The thinking, the way you are thinking, it is not right. He was born in a not very educated or in a low family or whatever, but still he had a right way of judgment, power of discrimination. That's why Samyak Jaya. Now, Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetra we will take. This is not grammatically this is not right. Just for understanding, I will just Dharma Kshetre, Guru Kshetra. You split it. Dharma Kshetre, Kuru Kshetre. When you jumble up, then Kshetre, Dharmam Kuru. Kuru means do. Dharma means spirituality, or you can say dharma, ethics, morality, duty, whatnot. So many things you can bring under dharma. Then Kshetre. Two kshetra. One is internally, in internal field, in my mind. The other kshetra means externally. One is what I am thinking, what I am doing internally, and how I am performing acts, either in my life, personal life, domestic life, or in professional life. If you practice dharma internally and externally, if you practice ethics, if you practice morality, if you practice self-realization, if you practice God's presence at all times, following our duty sincerely, externally and as well as internally, then what happens? I can reach immortality. I can attain Jaya, Samyak Jaya. What is that Jaya? Victory over mind, victory over evil, victory over deficiencies, victory over worldliness. That means God realization or self-realization, you can say. And you see, king is supposed to see everyone as a my person, including his own son. So when it comes to king, say for an example, if there is the whole city has been caught the fire. Now what we should do? First we should take and protect our house, and afterwards we may help to neighbors or others. Generally, that's what we expect. But if same thing happens, if when the whole city has been caught the fire, including his palace, then what king supposed to do? And apart from that, his own son and daughter probably got stuck in the palace with the fire. And there are many people are also get stuck in the fire. Then what is his prime duty now? Should he go and save the city people, civilians, or that is his prime importance, or the prime duty will be to take care of his son and daughter? If you ask, for a civilian, for a common person, it may be to take care of his son and daughter. But for a king, civilians will be more responsible than his own son and daughter. That's where the duty of king and the duty of a common person will change. So he, being a king, he was supposed to see everyone in the equal minded, including either his Duryodhana and his army, his own people, and Pandavas and others. All of them were his subjects. So he was he was supposed to see all of them in a equal minded. He should have asked either Pandavas and Kauravas or Duryodhanas and Dharmaraya. All of them, what are they doing? You should have told. So he should have used all the third person. Instead of that, he's telling Pandavas and my people. So he, as a king, in whatever way he was supposed to see, he was not seeing. Because the sense of me and mine, my people, my son. And Pandavas are Pandu's son, my brother's son. So that's where, because of me and minus, Ankara and Mamakara, he was a Dhritarashtra, he was a blinded person. Then what happened? Dharmakshetra. He was a king, he could have done so many good things. It was a Dharmakshetra, righteous. So this whole of our life, every moment of our life, we can do so many better things. But instead of that, because of we are blinded by our attachment and aversion, mean-mindedness, then we are converting the Dharmakshetra into Kurukshetra. We are converting into battlefield, and many times because of the loss of discrimination, loss of control over the mind, our mind is colored with so many defects or whatever, then we have converted our life into battlefield and we are losing every time. See, still half an hour or 45 minutes, every one word I can go on give on explaining. So like this, there's a beauty of Sanskrit. If you go and study deeply, every sloka of Bhagavad Gita, we can get a lot of ideas and a lot of philosophical meanings. So Swami Turiyananji, the apostle of Sri Ramakrishna, used to take one sloka and used to remember the meaning, and whole day used to meditate or used to remember, I used to go on thinking. So he used to understand, and his mind used to go to higher level, and he used to understand things better. And he used to tell that should be done. So one sloka of Bhagavad Gita, that doesn't mean that we should not read other slokas. I mean, even one sloka, if you take, whenever sloka, understand, and if you put into practice, then definitely that will help you to attain self-liberation. That will help you to bring emancipation. That will help you to destroy the ignorance about the self or cut the bondage. So if now you can understand one Bhagavad Gita sloka. First sloka I explained how much deep meaning it has got. So that's why he is telling, even one who has studied Bhagavad Gita, even a little, for such person, Yama cannot do anything. Means who has win over the death, fear of death, basically. So not study means again not bookish knowledge, not knowing just by meaning or whatever. One who has practiced, one who has put into practice, one who has made the knowledge as the fact of life. So we shall try to understand this in more detail in the next class with the God's grace. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. This Saturday Gnana Yoga lecture, instead of Saturday, it has been preponed. This time it will be on Friday itself. So Friday 7 p.m. So whoever is coming, so please note it. Thank you.